Welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Adam. Today we're talking cannabis policy and what a state-level move in Virginia could mean for investors. Joining me is Kate, a fixed income specialist who follows regulated markets closely. Kate, great to have you.
Thanks for having me, Adam. Excited to dig in.
Quick reminder to listeners, if you have questions as we go, you can ask us at stockalpha.ai.
Perfect. So the big development right now is that Virginia's legislature pushed cannabis bills through both chambers overnight. That's a state-level event, but it matters for markets.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point. On the surface, it's just paperwork, but the practical effect is this. When a state signals it will refine rules or create new licenses, you open the path for retail, cultivation, and distribution to expand. That's where revenue follows policy.
So, the real question here is, how fast does policy actually turn into sales? In other words, when should investors expect to see the economics change?
Great question. Timing depends on a few steps. Reconciliation, if the House and Senate passed different versions. The governor's sign-off, then regulatory drafting. Regulators then set application windows, fees, and inspection schedules. That process can be weeks to months, sometimes longer. I mean, when you look at the data from other states, it's not instant. But once licensing opens, first movers who already have supply chains or local partners can capture market share quickly.
What about the bigger picture, federal policy? I've seen mixed signals there.
Right. Federal tone is still mixed. There was public pushback from some national figures about rescheduling, which reminds us that banking access, federal tax treatment, and interstate commerce remain uncertain. That's a structural risk investors need to keep in mind.
That federal uncertainty keeps funding costs high for some operators, right?
Exactly. Without clear federal reform, many companies face higher capital costs, limited access to normal banking, and complex tax rules. So state wins are growth drivers, but not a free pass.
Short reactions.
Right.
Interesting.
Also worth watching. It's not just Virginia. We're seeing politics shake things up in places like Oklahoma, votes on related areas such as psychedelics in Maryland, and continuing strong retail demand in mature markets like Massachusetts.
So this is a state-by-state growth story, not a single federal event that lifts everything at once.
Exactly. Each state's calendar, each regulatory rollout, that's where you find actionable signals.
Let's get practical. What should investors put on their watch list in the next few days or weeks?
First, track Virginia's next procedural steps. Any reconciliation between chambers, the governor's stance, and the timeline regulators publish for licensing. Second, watch who applies and who gets first-mover advantage in any new license rounds. Third, keep an eye on federal headlines about rescheduling and banking. Those can change the financing picture quickly.
And ETFs or corporate names?
Monitor flows into major cannabis-focused ETFs and the balance sheets of multi-state operators. For ETFs, think of funds like the Advisor Shares Pure U.S. Cannabis ETF. For operators, watch names such as Trulieve, Green Thumb Industries, Curaleaf, and Tilray Brands for commentary or state-level exposure.
Got it. Anything else investors should be wary of?
Political risk in individual states. A split legislature or an unexpected veto can delay plans. And remember consumer demand signals. Monthly or quarterly sales reports from established markets tell you whether new legal supply will find buyers or saturate retail.
Honestly, I was a bit surprised by this one.
Yeah, surprises happen. The smart move is to size positions so that a state win is upside, but federal setbacks don't derail your portfolio.
All right, let's wrap with 3 clear takeaways for listeners.
1. Virginia's passage through both chambers is a meaningful state-level positive and could open licensing and retail opportunities, but it's a multi-step process. 2. Federal uncertainty around rescheduling and banking still matters for capital and taxes, so weigh that risk. 3. Track licensing timelines, who gets first mover advantage, ETF flows, and sales data from mature markets to find actionable signals.
Those are solid. If you have questions about anything we discussed today, you can ask us directly at stockalpha.ai. We answer listener questions live. And for more market insights, head over to stockalpha.ai. Thanks, Kate.
Thanks, Adam. Talk soon.